talking to me? You talking to me?
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello?
What an idiot!
Well, what do you expect? I'm the movie moron.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.
And that's right. There's none taken. I am the movie moron himself, and this is the Movie Moron podcast. Woohoo! And I am your host, Easton Moore.
Would you cancel my 2 o'clock? This next meeting could run a little bit deadly.
Oh.
Spicy.
Is that Zoolander?
No, that is the Lego movie.
Oh.
And then with me, as always, is the practical co-host. Oh, no. I messed it all up.
That's me?
Yes, it is.
Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
Oh, it's because I'm hairy.
Uh-huh.
I'm not nearly as
Little-
hairy as you are, though.
That's true. I probably do have more hair on my body because it's well, not more hairs, just more
Longer
space.
hairs.
Oh, yeah.
It takes up more space.
Yeah, it's more. What's the word? It's more. There's more
Voluminous.
mass. Yeah. It's,
Yeah,
It's.
Use your words.
it's okay. And right next to him is my lovely wife and our all-time guest.
If anybody has black parts, I need them, okay? I only work in black. And sometimes very, very dark gray.
That was pretty good, especially for today.
Oh no, I did not. That was legitimately. She walked in wearing all black, and I was like, "Huh, I saw that earlier. I'm putting that one on."
There you go. Very nice.
Anyway, so
Wait, that's really funny because I almost never wear all black.
it didn't make any sense.
I know.
Okay, well today there were a couple movies that came out: Sonic 2,
Sonic 2,
Ambulance,
Ambulance.
and the movie we're doing today, which is Everything Everywhere All at Once, which has been out for a couple weeks if you are privileged and get to watch it in limited release areas.
Yeah, especially with the Northman. I'm getting sick of people on Twitter being like, "It's so good." I'm like, how have 30,000 people seen this movie already?
Well, it's the same thing with Everything Everywhere at Once. Like,
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of people being like, "Oh my gosh, this is the greatest movie." It's already #1 on Letterboxd, which is
Like, didn't
insane.
even come out yet.
Yes, yeah. It hit #1 on Letterboxd with 30,000 reviews, and it hadn't even had a wide release yet.
Right.
Yeah. So very annoying. But we were going to either do Ambulance or Everything Everywhere All at Once, and we watched both
Saw them both.
to see which one was better. And
The answer was very clear.
Ambulance!
it was very clear which one was better. But Tristan apparently disagrees. So you will get to hear someone very salty
That's
that
right,
we're not
people.
doing Ambulance. We also might, because we watched both, and we might. So we'll see if we have enough time. But for the legit episode of the week, we're doing Everything Everywhere All at Once. So let's just go ahead and go at it. What are your guys' general thoughts on this A24 film, Everything Everywhere All at Once?
A24 can't miss, man.
Well, they can, but...
Well, I mean, like the past few that they've released have all, I feel like they've just been banger after banger.
Yeah.
Because didn't A20, maybe it didn't. I was thinking maybe A24 did The Lighthouse. I'm trying to think like the
It did.
past. It did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, or not The Lighthouse, The Night House. I meant The Night House.
No, that wasn't them.
But yeah, everything that A24's come out with, and to a lesser extent Neon, I've really found myself enjoying.
Neon's a different style. I still like it, but Neon is
A little
definitely
more like metal, a little more gritty.
yeah,
little
that's
more
much
rock and roll.
It's much more like action, blood, over the top violence kind of stuff.
Right.
That like, but they do it in like interesting story ways rather
Yeah.
than just like your standard like action movie with Bruce Willis or something. Which not rip Bruce Willis, but
I mean, rip Bruce Willis's
acting career. Yeah. Not for anything that he did. That really sounds like he got canceled for saying something racist.
No.
If you guys haven't heard, he got some mental disease. Yeah. Where
it's like degenerative thing.
Yeah. So he's losing the part of his brain that helps him be able to speak. And so you can't really act if you can't remember lines, and it's pretty much a form of dementia, but not. It's not really a form of it. It has a whole different word, but
a good way to put it.
Where you just lose the ability to speak.
Yeah, it was a form of dementia.
Oh, okay, sweet. And so he had obviously one of the greatest acting careers of all time, and I heard this, which may or may not be true, but that he is like one of the biggest actors to come from TV. Where he was a TV actor.
Really?
And he moved over to movies. And so they were like, obviously great for him to
I always thought he
make
was
that
just an
switch.
action movie guy.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But anyways, back to this movie. I don't know why I brought... Oh, yeah, Neon. Neon does that kind of stuff really well. And like puts a good amount of money in to make them very interesting and different.
Yeah.
Because I feel like wasn't... Nerve, that was Neon, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Because Nerve was really good. I believe. I believe Revenge was Nerve. Because they also do foreign films. So, anyways, A24 and Neon have been some of the better smaller. And I don't even think A24 is considered a smaller studio anymore.
I think maybe, once upon a time maybe, but not anymore. I'm sorry, I was just trying to look up what the production studio for Nerve was, and I can't find it quickly, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah. Okay. So your general thoughts on this movie specifically?
Yeah, we're very good. I'm enjoying the stuff that A24's been putting out, and this movie was I had an idea of what it was going to be like going in, and my expectations were like totally blown out of the water. It was so much different of a movie that I thought it was going to be. I thought it would maybe be a little bit more literal, and I'm glad it wasn't.
It was pretty literal.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, we'll get into the spoilers, and we can chat about it then. But yeah, I thought that all the acting was great. I thought the music was pretty good. I liked the idea of it. I liked that we have a multiverse movie. I actually made a tweet, and I was like, glad this came out, because now it's going to be my best multiverse movie of the year.
And it's going to be hard to watch whatever Marvel shits out for their multiverse movie.
Yeah.
Tristan, what are your general thoughts?
It was too much. It was too much.
You think Ambulance was not too much and this was?
Yeah.
I understand where she's coming from for the fact of like there is so much going on in this movie. Ambulance is an easy, straightforward.
I guess that's fair.
You're in a chase. You're in a fight.
Yeah.
You're in a...
Yeah. This is like
Gangster town.
breaking reality of your mind and like seeing
and like there were so many like colors. The scenes were changing all the time. There were like different sounds and everything. You had to keep up with everywhere that she was going all the time.
Kung
and like
fu. She doesn't know kung fu.
Yeah,
she stabs herself with a pen.
I just wanted to crawl into a hole after I left the theater because I just needed darkness.
How you
that beginning clip is just making more and more sense.
I know. I thought of that as it was coming out of my mouth.
This is a lot mentally overwhelming. It's very stimulating.
Yes.
And there's a lot happening. And yeah, sure, there is metaphoric stuff going on. But if you're too busy, I don't even know if Tristan caught some of that.
Probably not.
Probably some, because I know it's supposed to be metaphoric, and it is, but it also tells you exactly what the metaphor is through the dialogue.
Yeah.
So like that's why I was a little disappointed on how on the nose some of it was, because it could have just stayed with its. But I wonder if they just wanted this to be a more so here's the metaphor, but also we're going to help you understand it too, which I think makes the movie a little bit less, but not by much. Like it's fine.
Sure.
I put that in my Letterboxd review. Yes, Tristan?
Two things. This movie was giving me Scott Pilgrim vibes.
She did say that.
Yeah, well,
the action
I think it takes place in Canada, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know, but I was thinking of like the
action film.
Yeah.
Very.
Of the cheesy like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part, that stuff. And then this just popped into my head, but the antagonist was giving me Sky High antagonist vibes.
I didn't even think about that, but I kind of agree.
Just the way that she was talking.
Oh,
And
real angsty
how she
and
held
dark.
herself.
Yeah.
I'm a teenager, and I am angsty. I don't know what else.
Well, that's basically this movie. It's just teenage angst in an hour and 50 or 2 hours. I think it's about 2 hours. It's pretty straightforward, but
Yeah, a little over.
Yeah.
So, did you like it? It was just too much?
Nah. I liked the beginning stuff
the worst part of the movie.
before it got crazy. I liked that.
I kind of thought Tristan wasn't really going to like this because it is just so much visually and mentally to keep up with. And she doesn't do sci-fi very well because it's just so different to our reality.
I guess this is sci-fi-y, isn't it?
I mean, it's not sci-fi, but it deals with things that aren't real. Therefore, it's basically sci-fi.
Well, like Jurassic Park is sci-fi. And,
I
I
need to
never
clear
think about
something
that.
up, everyone. I am a dreamer, okay? But I can't handle sci-fi, okay? It's just hard for me to keep up, but I am a dreamer. I'm not the reality one in the relationship, okay?
You may say I'm a dreamer.
I'm
not.
Oh. I'm a
Okay. Well, my general thoughts are this was really good. I went in with very high expectations because it was thrust upon us to have high expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything that we saw on film Twitter, which is where we, Trevor and I live and breathe, had already seen this movie and said it was the greatest thing in the past 5 years. And Letterboxd says so. I mean, the number one rated movie in every movie. I mean, narrative feature films, at least.
I think I read that the only other two movies that have held that spot were Parasite and then The Godfather Part 1.
Yeah, I think so. Which Parasite I've totally agreed with since that came out to be the highest rated. But it's not like my favorite. Anyways, yeah, I went in with really, really high expectations and it pretty much met them. It took a while for me to get into it, however, because it was such high expectations that I was like, this is all pretty blah to standard stuff so far. Like, oh, mom behind on bill, just stuff like that. Like, it wasn't really anything outstanding. But once they finally laid the groundwork for their multiverse, it was that's what made the movie so good, because that was so fleshed out and done perfectly. Just that idea of how the multiverse is there, how you navigate it, why you're now suddenly having to navigate it, and all of that was just done so perfectly well. I don't know if it's screenwriters, directors, who came up with the idea, who fleshed it out, whatever, probably screenwriters and writers. They did an absolutely phenomenal job with it. And I know that this type of multiverse and parallel universes and all this stuff has happened. We've obviously had these discussions in the philosophical world.
We've all seen The Twilight Zone.
But yeah, sure, we've all seen it. But I feel like this is the first time we've seen it in movie form in quite a while, or ever. I mean, this is the first time I've seen this specific style in a movie.
Yeah.
And was done really well, explained really well. Just well thought out, and how you navigate it, go through it, what happens to you as you go through it, and all the mind work and all of that.
Yeah.
And it's just everything's explained and really well thought out, which that's the foundation of the movie, and that's done well.
Yeah, and they have some good visual representation, help you process it quicker, that I really enjoyed. Other than just because the way it works, I won't get into it too much, but there's an app on this guy's phone that he can follow along with, that is helpful in helping you get across what their version of what they call verse jumping is.
Yeah, it's not really. Yeah, I guess it is kind of an app, but
it's on his phone.
Yeah. I really like how nothing deals with future stuff. It's all
very present.
Yeah, you're going between universes that are all in the same exact time in history, and you're just using their like you're just linking your brain to that version of yourself, and that you're not actually traveling to that as yourself.
Right.
So like, yeah, you're not taking your body and your form to a different multiverse. You're just linking your brain to that
linking
that
your
other
brawny paper towels.
Yeah. Your Brahms. Anyways, yeah, I thought that was really different.
Yeah, and it was different. It's that, I mean, because usually it is your entire physical body goes, but so it was interesting that it was the brain this time.
Yeah, because then you didn't have to deal with don't like find your don't have your other
Run into
self.
yourself.
Yeah, which has kind of gotten overdone
for sure
for a while.
Since Marty McFly.
Back to the Future.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just thinking more recently, the Atom Project kind of did that stuff, but then they threw it right out the window in like 5 seconds.
Don't run into yourself. First thing.
Yeah. I actually didn't think the acting was anything that superb.
My favorite was the dad.
Yeah, I was about to say the dad and the daughter were my two favorite, which everyone was talking about how good our main character was, which was Michelle Yeoh. I'm probably messing up that last name because I'm not Asian.
All Asian cast, so the names are.
Yeah. And that's just our lack of culture on this podcast. I'm sorry. Although I mess up American names too. So
that's very true.
It's just I messed up words in general. However, I thought she was fine. She did good, but people were really talking about how good the acting was in this movie beforehand, and I thought it was like, this isn't Marriage Story or Joker or
Joker
or The Master or Boogie Nights. It's like, that's a well-acted movie.
No, I just forgot it existed.
Oh, how could you ever? But I just like, that's when people say like, this is an extremely well-acted movie. Like, I'm thinking of things of that caliber, and like, it's like action movie good. Like, that's it. And the choreography was really weird. It felt very The Last Jedi, where like it looks cool, but if you think about it for more than 2 seconds, it's stupid. Where like everything just so happens to attack at the same time, and people don't like.
Sure,
she's overwhelmed.
I didn't notice that people kind of wait for their turn to attack.
Yeah. And it makes it like fun, and I think that's what they were going for. They were just going for fun combat stuff, and it worked. But with the movie, with the tone of the movie being so serious and so philosophical, I didn't like how there were so many aspects of the movie that turned goofy and unrealistic, even though I guess the premise is unrealistic. But they made the foundation of the premise was rooted in some sort of possible reality. Yeah. So I felt it was kind of a knock to the movie to turn to this goofy and unseriousness so often.
And I agree with you. I remember thinking that too, especially with one part in particular, which I think you guys probably know what I'm talking about. But when that would happen, I had to kind of like reset myself and be like, okay, this it's a metaphor, it's a goofy thing, just roll with it because it's going to make sense in the end, kind of thing. Yeah.
If it's what I'm thinking about, I actually thought that was fine, but I guess we have no idea. Oh, okay. I mean, the video is on you, but it's whatever.
That's
not going to give away
give me
anything.
a spoiler without giving me a spoiler.
Yeah, you'll have no idea what that means if you haven't seen this movie.
Puppy dog paws.
Yeah. Never mind. I did think that was ridiculous. And that's what I mean. Is like they did bits in the movie, and I thought a lot of the bits landed, but they used them way too often. They just reoccurred way too often. And they were trying to use those bits for some serious stuff later on.
Some levity.
And it worked, but it didn't have to use that stuff early on so much. A scene or two would have got the same sort of, okay, yeah, I remember that version of her. And like, so that's why it's playing it now. Not 4 or 5 times of shooting back to this reality. Yeah, just the goofiness of some of this stuff was just a little overbearing for the style of movie that we were.
Yeah.
And saying that, some of them I liked how much they went back to, but I liked the ones that were more philosophical and deep than the goofy ones. And I thought those were better. And even when it comes to like our in conclusion, I won't try to spoil anything there, but like there was some goofiness in that, and I thought that goofiness kind of fit, but it was a lot of the earlier stuff that was a little much for me.
Yeah.
But
well, regarding the acting, I think the reason I enjoyed it was because I thought that she did a very good job of switching between her, like, not just her, but like multiple, especially the husband, did a good job switching between their alternate selves. Like, and yeah, they do a big old like throw your head up and like shake for a second, like seizure-esque kind of thing. But then when they're in it, like they're in it.
Yeah, and they act like a completely different version of themselves, personality wise.
Right.
Yeah, they act completely different, and like you can even see the act, like the characters, like knowing what version of that person they are,
right?
Just by the way that they act, and that's why I thought the father was the best one in the movie, because he did that duality, dual personality so well,
most, and like be in it more.
Yeah. And that's also why I like the daughter so much, and I just liked her character in general. And I said this in my review, my Letterboxd review. I think this movie is getting such good reception because you can attach yourselves to one of the two main characters, either the mother as a parent trying to deal with a child that's going through a very rough time in their lives, or you can connect to the daughter, son or daughter, but it's the daughter in the movie. You can connect with them as in like, I don't know my place in the world. I'm feeling like I'm battling my parents 24/7 and they don't like, you can connect with one of those two people no matter what. Like we're 25, 20, whatever, but I could still connect with that person, the daughter, because that was only 7 years ago for me. So I can still remember that.
Sure.
And I can understand what the mom is going through, but I can connect with the daughter really well because, that teenage angst can sometimes go to your 28.
I felt no connection to her.
Okay. Well, maybe that's why you didn't connect to it as much.
Maybe.
You're not an edgelord like us. Or me. I don't want to group Trevor
Excuse
into
me,
that.
I am the one in all black, so I think
I'm in all blue.
You're wearing a... Is the jacket...
It's like
navy.
a dark blue.
Okay. Looks black from this angle.
Yeah, it's my magic jacket. If I want it to look black, I'll usually wear lighter clothes. If I want it to look blue, I'll wear darker clothes. It's weird.
Gotcha.
That's fair.
But
okay.
I agree with all that. Yeah, and the goofiness, I agree. Yeah, I think a lot of it ended up being a little overdone.
Just kind of took away from the seriousness of the movie.
Yeah, and like I said, just having to lean back into the bagelness of it all.
Yeah.
I thought really.
And at least it wasn't, at least they weren't like Marvel jokes. I'll give it that.
Yes. There was one moment where it rode the line pretty hard, but
they were more bits than one-liners.
Yeah.
And so a little
almost
bit more
like
leniency.
they spent time on it and like tried to incorporate it rather than just like jokey joke time.
They 100% thought like, okay, we need to bring some comedic value to this infinite realities of personalities and worlds, and so we're going to like create some jokes off of it. And like I said, some of them landed, and I liked what they did with a lot of it. There was just, it got a little too goofy at times, but.
Well, I think it's all from me.
Okay. Tristan? Yeah. I really like I know it overstimulated Tristan, but the the super visualization of all the worlds and everything moving at once. This movie is called Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it makes you feel that with its visuals, and it's very visually stunning.
Definitely.
And the costume design and the way that they switch that all the time and all of that.
I did really like
really
the daughters'
costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Do you know how many people worked on the visual effects for this movie?
12.
Is that your guess? 12?
Yes.
How many do you think, Tristan?
I don't even really know what that is.
5.
Dang it.
Their special effects team was 5, which is crazy.
Yeah, I guessed a really low number because of the way that you said it.
Yeah.
I was like...
And it was even lower.
Yeah. Like, usually I would assume, like, hundreds of people are working on visual effects.
I saw an article, I think it was on IGN or something, and they were like, how a team of 5 for this movie were able to, like, have as good of visual graphics as, like, a Marvel movie does, where you have like 100 people working on it.
Yeah, then we have Spider-Man No Way Home that has terrible visual effects.
Yeah.
And they had 100 people working on it.
Right. And we're like updating the movie as it was releasing.
Yeah. And still got a nomination for best visual effects.
That was such a gimme. That was just like, well, we gotta put it in there for something.
Didn't even win.
The Twitter thing that they designed for it to win. Zack Snyder is the blueprint.
Yeah, but Zack Snyder's still kind of being a bitch right now. No, his fans are being a pretty bit. Their fans are definitely being a bitch right now. I don't know what's
happening with the whole cult thing.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, Snyderverse is literally turning into a cult.
Yeah, and it's... Ugh.
Yeah.
Speaking of cults, thanks for sharing the Jared Leto thing with us.
We talked about the Jared Leto cult last week, and they had never heard of it, and I sent them a Twitter about just somebody like tweeting out about his cult and be like, this needs to have more awareness because this is insane.
Yeah.
And it shows a cult where he's
walking around like all white.
He's supposed to look like Jesus. Like he's trying to be the Jesus of the 21st century.
Freaks me out.
But then he plays some creepy old greasy guy that maybe murders somebody in the little things.
Yeah.
Definitely a Jesus role.
Definitely.
Anyways, yeah, that's it for general thoughts. Recommendations. Should you go watch this?
I want to say absolutely, but I feel like you need to be ready to think a little bit during it. Like, I feel like this isn't necessarily a movie you can just like let. I mean, you can, but I think if you want to get the most out of it, you need to like be very involved in what's happening.
Is that my turn?
Yeah.
No.
Just a straight no, huh?
It was. Yeah.
Okay. So let's ask you this then. Do you recommend Ambulance?
Oh, 1,000,000 times over, yes.
Hey, what are you, a 6-year-old?
That was so rude.
It's so true, though.
I'm gonna cry. You guys are being mean to me.
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
I hate these dumb little sound thingies.
I think they're great.
Maybe one day we'll give you the power of the sound bites and see how it goes for us.
Be ready, guys.
I'll let you prep all your own sound bites.
Well, I need help.
Oh, that's too much power.
It's just one. It's just, you're dumb.
You're dumb.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, that fits the podcast, so whatever. 100% I recommend this. This definitely needs more people going to watch it. I understand it's not going to land with everybody because it is a lot to deal with mentally. But I think it's worth a shot. I think if you can go and watch it, definitely in the theaters with the sound. I know we haven't talked about the sound being anything amazing, but there is a lot of action, a lot of things going on, and the sound does help with that. But mainly the visuals of it. This was not in Dolby, so I didn't get to see the true black or whatever, but it doesn't really need it. It's a pretty bright movie, but even then, the Dolby is supposed to have a brighter brights and everything. So, I mean, kind of mad I didn't get to watch this in Dolby, and I had to watch Ambulance in Dolby. But, yeah, it's a really good ride once you finally get into it. And what makes it so easy to watch, well, maybe not easy to watch, but fun to watch, is that the premise just makes sense. And so you don't have to think throughout the movie, this is dumb. This wouldn't logistically make sense. This doesn't logically make sense. That's never going on throughout your mind. Every single time you're like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. This makes sense. And for me, at least, when I watch movies, I get really taken out of movies when I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This isn't people wouldn't do this. This wouldn't make sense. This isn't real, like that kind of stuff. And that never happened to me throughout the movie. And so it also deals with a lot of deeper stuff, which I don't really want to say exactly. I guess I said teenage angst, but there's a 16-year-old, so.
Of course.
Yeah.
Is she that young?
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be 16. I think
thought she was
maybe
supposed
17.
to be out of high school.
Yeah, because I think there's a moment where
I thought she was
the mom
17.
says you always come back when you need something.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
She said you never call, you only...
She just looked like she lived with them, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was because the grandpa was visiting.
So at the very oldest, like 19.
Yeah.
So still
She's
in that
still
age.
very young, yeah.
Still teenage angst. So yeah.
You can have early 20s.
Oh, I told you that teenage angst can sometimes last until you're 30. And then it just becomes a midlife crisis after that. Okay, so two of us definitely recommend it, and if maybe you feel yourself more aligning with Tristan's ideas throughout your listening of every single episode of the podcast, then
Not you, Brandon.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, he loves your intake.
Aw,
He's the one that keeps on
thanks.
saying you need to stop getting kicked off.
Aw, thanks.
But then you know that maybe this one will be too much for you. But I definitely say at least give it a. I think you should give it a shot.
Yeah.
Especially in theaters because these smaller films need the audience. This was in the smaller theater and still was not sold out. And we watched it legitimately the first showing that it was allowed in AMC. So that's pretty sad. Go see it if you can. Support smaller studios that aren't Marvel because we need theaters to not just show Marvel movies for, what is it, 8 months? So,
Please.
Yeah. I want to watch smaller movies. I want to watch smaller movies in theaters.
Yeah.
They're usually better.
There was a new horror movie that came out. And it was only in theaters for 1 week, and we didn't have time to go watch it. So, I'm probably
Was
not.
it recently?
Yeah, it was really recent. I'll tell you after spoilers,
Okay,
so I can look it up. What, Tristan?
I think you told me the
Premise?
idea of the movie.
I told you beforehand because I was like, this is going to be really hard to understand because I know how hard sci-fi is for you.
Yeah.
So here's kind of what it's dealing with and like whatever. And I hope it helps.
think, but as soon as you told me that, I already knew it was going to be like too much for me. I'm pretty sure you told me and I said, oh no.
Yeah, you did.
I just knew right off the bat that. So I'll say this. I can see why you guys like it, but like if you already know right off the bat it's not for you, then don't go see it because I wanted to again crawl into a hole.
Yeah.
Afterward.
Yeah.
Not because it was bad, but just because I couldn't take it.
I get it. Yeah.
I just want the listeners to know. I want you guys to know that I'm
She
not
understood
6
it.
years old. Okay. I'm 26.
Okay.
That is all.
Okay. Sweet. So we're going to go ahead and take that short little break of maybe Ed, maybe not, probably not. And then we are going to be back for the spoiler part of the review.
Hey, moron!
You talking to me? You talking to me?
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Hello?
What an idiot!
Well, what do you expect? I'm the movie moron.
All right, we are back.
We're back
for the spoiler part of the review. So, if you have not watched this movie yet, go ahead and push the pause button. Go and watch it, and then come back.
Go and watch it, and then come back.
Because
in that order, please.
Yes, because we do want you to watch this one, and I mean everyone.
2/3. Oh
no,
The first third.
everyone. Go watch it. That's listening to this podcast at least.
Oh, I thought you meant like all of us want you to go watch it. I was like,
Oh, no.
2/3 of us want you to go watch it.
No, I just mean everyone should go watch it. So Tristan's in the hiccups. So
Yeah, everyone's acting like I can control it.
Yeah, but if you guys are still listening from the first half, the movie I was talking about was
Don't be alone.
You Won't Be Alone.
Oh, you won't be alone.
Yeah, that's the movie, the horror movie that I wanted to watch. That's being equated to The Witch, and then apparently is not in theaters anymore.
Just not in theaters anymore.
Yep, because I was thinking about maybe watching it Monday, and then boom, can't.
Boom, can't.
Yep. Sad day
Well.
for Easton. Okay, so we're just going to start to go into spoilers. So you can talk about whatever you want. Go ahead and talk about all the hot dog cans you want. Go.
Moonlight Sonata is in this for a weird reason and way too much.
Moonlight
Who?
Sonata.
What?
Oh, you guys would know it here.
Oh, the
I'll pull it
song?
up. Yeah. Ba-dee-da-da-dee-da-da.
Yeah, don't expect me to ever know the name of a song ever.
Well, I'm gonna pull it up and put it in the mic. Anyway, yeah, hot dog fingers. That's the goofy thing where. But then I was like, okay, well, I think part of this is like you put meaning in because
it comes together at the end, but
Yeah.
it's still just you went to it too often.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
And
Like
the
we only need to see it maybe twice.
Yes, exactly. We saw it, I think, 5 to 6 times.
Yes.
And
And
the-
it was just the stupid little gag and
Yeah, the mustard and ketchup out of the fingers was just
Ew,
worse.
that was really
that grossed me out.
Yeah,
a lot.
But that's not the spoilers thing I said we had to talk about. I was just making a joke there. So what kind? I'm just review
Claire
spoilers.
de Lune, not Moonlight Sonata. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry, everyone. Claire de Lune.
Yeah,
Music
we knew
guy
exactly
didn't
what you
know.
were talking about.
Here it comes, I think. Maybe. It's coming. Maybe it's coming.
I don't think it's coming.
Oh, it's coming.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's just like those first like few notes, but and I don't know why it's in there. Like, what does the moon have to do with anything?
I don't know.
The moon has everything to do with everything. The tides. Anyway, yes, hot dog fingers were gross.
Yeah.
I did think the movie thing was funny, like because you see that it's like the Bollywood movie,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and then it switches in that universe and it's the hot dogs. But
Yeah.
and I enjoyed that of like all the people. It's Deirdre. Jamie Lee Curtis is really good in this.
Yeah.
She just
I
looks
do
like she's
like
having
that
a great
she's in it.
time.
I almost said something at the top of the episode because her quote is used in our theme song. I was like, "Hey, we got
Yeah.
somebody from our theme song
Right.
in the movie."
Yep.
And
Yeah.
her character was fun.
I feel like someone's like squeezing you like a dog toy, and that's what's making you like because they sound like squeaks almost. But
Yeah.
yes, I thought no bra in the first scene. I'm getting better at noticing the nipple in movies.
That is a very weird thing to describe that you're getting better at.
Well, like because I felt like forever we would watch movies and we talk about them, and you guys would be like, "Oh, it's a little bit chilly there," or like it would mention that like there's like no
They're
like,
nipping?
Yeah, they're nipping, and then so it's because of that I've like looked for it more.
Oh my god.
I don't have that, but no, not from IRS agent. Sorry, Jamie Lee Curtis. That doesn't really do it for me. But
I do.
Only if I had that clip for X.
I do like you guys. Inappropriate.
But I mean, sorry,
to
never
be
mind.
fair.
Sorry.
Yeah, what, Easton?
There's
Husband?
literal sex scenes multiple times in that movie. But that's
basically softcore porn.
I'm not even borderlines
Okay,
between
stop,
softcore.
stop,
Anyways,
stop.
Okay, but hard
And
nipples.
of course,
Go.
boobies.
No, I wasn't even going to talk about that.
Oh, that's.
Oh my
sorry.
gosh. Okay, I was just going to say that.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, I like that because she's always played like she's always been like this thin little stick person. But as she's gotten older, she's like gained weight as one does.
Yeah.
And like she played a person like she didn't try to hide it. And like she's not ashamed of it.
She's like,
I think that's really cool.
yeah.
I really like that she
Do you guys? I feel like she was thinner in some of the universes.
I think it's just, I think when she's sitting at the IRS desk, she is making an effort to make herself look bigger, like she has a gut.
I felt like there were
Because
just
there's-
all of
some.
her clothes are really tight
Well,
on
yeah.
her too.
And there's a moment where she stands up when she verse jumps and she like sucks her gut in. And so I think that they're a little, I think maybe it is a little purposeful. But yeah, I did notice that when you see it.
I'm like, good for you.
Good for you being
She's like-
an overweight American in front of these
No.
thin Asian people.
No, I just meant like, I don't know. I like that she wasn't trying to hide it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, I think her character wasn't supposed to hide it.
No.
I like that she took a role that she had to do that in.
I didn't. She wasn't this big in Halloween.
No.
Oh, I don't think I've seen Halloween.
Oh, okay. So I'm saying I think like she might like she either got weight for the film or she's wearing something.
Well,
Really?
regardless.
Yeah, she was pretty big in this, and she just played Halloween last year, and she was
That was last year?
the second one, Halloween Kills.
I'm interested now, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
You've tricked me.
because Because she wasn't just
Tristan's not happy with it.
I'm not.
because it's and Halloween Kills I think was in 2021. Maybe I think so. And she was active in
I'm not saying you can't be active. She wasn't
I'm saying
that
she
big.
looked pretty thin and not thin.
Well,
she looked like
I don't
normal
have my
old man.
phone to do any research, so I can't give you
there's
any
butt plugs in
answers.
this
That's
movie.
what. Oh my
That
gosh.
was so weird.
It was so fun when the guy comes flying through the air with his legs all spread eagle. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, those are the funny bits.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the ones I thought was done really well
Because the whole entire premise is you have to do something really wild to get yourself to move to a different dimension.
Yes.
And so it set themselves up for some really cool stuff down the road. And that being one of them. The paper cut one was really funny.
Yes.
I liked
you
when
can't
she
purposely
was.
give yourself a paper cut.
I liked when she was like running around,
Just
and
doing
the
random.
dad and the dad and the daughter were like giving her ideas.
Yeah.
They were like narrating it at first,
Right.
and then she's like blowing his. Dang it, blowing his nose.
Yeah. Because you're supposed to do the wildest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was.
Or just a wild thing that'll take you to a random dimension. Yeah, all that was done. I thought all that was really cool and well done. Although, why did they blur it? That was weird to me.
I assume that it probably had, although you could still see it sticking out of his butt.
Yeah.
Even with the blur.
No, they weren't blurring the
butt plug.
The butt plug. They were blurring the penis. But
yeah,
this is.
I think the penis was maybe for a rating thing.
That's what I thought.
But
it's R, isn't it?
I have no idea.
They said the F word a lot, so I figured.
Yeah, because you can only PG-13. I think you can only get one. Maybe two now.
I think you're allowed maybe two.
Yeah,
depends on the context.
Right. So I think also I was just under the impression, like I said, or like we've said, it's just a goofy. Some of these parts are goofy, and I think it's funnier if it's blurred out like that.
That's fair.
I believe it's rated R, but I can't actually find it here.
It's not rated R for nudity.
No, it is not.
Maybe it is. MPAA. But yeah, so that was one of the bits I enjoyed. I really thought it was funny, and I also really enjoyed. And yes, I agree with you that the combat was a little, everyone takes a break and we fight this person one at a time because we all have to lose. But I did enjoy the kung fu-ness of a lot of this. I didn't mean for that to rhyme.
Muscled pinky.
Except for that. That took me out of it the most. I was like, this is dumb.
I actually didn't mind that one as much.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like where she flexed her thing and it turned into a giant muscle.
That's what I was talking about.
I just meant I liked the pinky verse where like she was really strong using her pinky because she like was doing push. I didn't mind like her being able to like utilize it. I thought that was funny. But the actual like
flexing of the pinky,
was dumb.
It looks like a tumor.
The Rock universe was probably my favorite, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it was very like and also that was very good for the story. I mean, it gave him a chance to talk.
That's what I mean.
Like, and then
very deep.
Yes, I agree.
When you said in the spoiler free that there was something that like was too goofy or whatever, I thought you were talking about bagels at first.
Oh no,
just the bagel. The fact that this really serious philosophical nihilism thing is a bagel. I thought you were saying that was the dumb thing. I'm like,
no,
I kind of liked that.
I did too.
That it just formed something that looked like a bagel because it's literally the whole entire universe
on a bagel.
And this sphere that's rotating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, Tristan, did you understand the bagel?
I think so. Don't do this to me. You're making me sound really, really stupid.
Wasn't the goal, but you were just looking at me a little weird, so.
I just didn't care for it.
You didn't care about there is no meaning in life?
I didn't. That just made me depressed. And I was like...
Welcome to nihilism.
Did its job.
But I don't know. I didn't. It was whatever. It was whatever. I don't really have anything to say about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked it. Like we kind of talked about as a metaphorical device of like this bagel represents the nothingness that is everything. in context, in the end fight, when it became a little bit more literal, I didn't care for it as much.
I thought it was always physical.
It is physical, but
yeah.
like when she's talking about it and they look into it, versus when it's in the room with them and it's like sucking people in. That's
Gotcha.
the part of it I didn't.
It's
not that I didn't like it. I just didn't care for it.
It says it earlier in the movie that she put everything in the bagel, basically.
Right. Yeah, and they're like, we don't know if it's a black hole or.
Yeah. Well, and she, the whole entire goal for her is to bring her and her mom into the bagel.
It's a self-destruct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And like I said, it was just so like it's there. And these two guys that are relatively close to it get sucked in immediately.
Yeah.
But then later she not only is she like right next to it, she gets in and is pulled out.
Yeah.
So that kind of like I said, it was fine. But the more literal aspect of like getting sucked into it, I didn't care for as much when we saw it.
Gotcha.
But overall, I did enjoy the bagel. Not as
That's
much
fair.
as I enjoyed Rockverse, but I did enjoy bagel. And when you said Rockverse a second ago, I thought a universe full of The Rock.
Everyone is The Rock.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? It's everywhere.
Just 7 billion Dwayne Johnsons on Earth. Well, if you have infinite realities, I'm sure that'll be one.
Fast and Furious movies.
No, he's not doing them anymore.
Yeah.
He's done. He's out.
I thought that was sweet that Vin Diesel was like, my brother, come back and finish
He's
the
like,
fight with us.
Fuck you, is what he said.
Which is weird.
To Fast and Furious?
Mm-hmm.
That's rude.
There is some beef between Vin Diesel and Dwayne.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. Because neither of them can.
That's part of it.
Lose a fight.
Yeah. The Vin Diesel has in his contract in the Fast and Furious that he cannot lose a fight.
But then The Rock does too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it bred some conflict. But they made it work. Yeah. They didn't win or lose the fight. It was a draw.
Whatever. I'm Vin Diesel team.
I think there's other things that happen on set between the two of them that makes The Rock not want to deal with Vin Diesel. And The Rock also doesn't need Fast and Furious.
Right.
Yeah. And
well, we don't need you.
Literally everything.
The
and
Rock.
Vin Diesel or the Fast and Furious does get a lot of boost by having The Rock in it.
Yeah, well, we don't need you.
Does
Okay.
it have a lot of nitrous boost?
Bad joke.
No, it was a great joke.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't have my sound bites pulled up, or else I would have
Dang
had
it!
one
I was
there.
ready. I was wanting. I'm trying to bait them now.
Oh, are you? They also have no idea what they are.
Right.
Oh my god, you're so funny.
There we go.
But yeah, I think there's some because I think he said he would do a Fast and Furious movie or whatever as long as Vin Diesel isn't in it.
Well, that's not a Fast and Furious movie, so.
Hobbs and Shaw's a Fast and Furious movie that doesn't have.
Listen to
Vin
me.
Diesel in it.
I knew that as soon as it came out of my mouth, but I was hoping you wouldn't bring any attention to it. And look at you,
But it's
making me
also not
sound like an idiot again. Thank you.
It's also not a Fast and Furious movie. It's just a
Yeah,
spinoff.
see?
So. But I'm saying, like, I think he's saying I will do more of those.
I understand.
But yeah, I won't do the actual.
So I
way off track.
The fight scene with Joy when she or whatever her ultra name is.
Yeah, we're not even gonna try.
Jabu Tapiki or something like that.
That was probably gonna get canceled for racism on that trying of the name.
Sorry, everyone. But yes, when I think you were talking about earlier, Tristan, when she shows up and like she makes a guy's head turn into confetti and like she's changing outfits.
Jobu Tubaki. Jobu Tubaki.
You were close.
Nice.
Jobu Tubaki.
Yeah, when she's changing outfits and then the confetti stuff and blowing the gun like it's a hookah.
Yeah. That was the one thing I didn't quite understand, and like how she gains all this. I know it's like her like mind bending between every single reality at once, but I don't know how that lets you interact with like other things in this realm.
Yeah,
and it didn't really talk about that too much. It wasn't like it definitely was not a bad thing. I don't mind it. I think it was explained well enough to know she's the only person that can literally live in every single universe. She all at once,
simultaneously.
Yeah, simultaneously, and so she's taking everything from those other universes, just like our main character is pulling thing like, but it's mainly just knowledge.
Yeah.
This other person, once you hit this thing, you can like pull, like it feels like you're pulling things from other universes.
Right.
So it was enough, but it definitely that was the one quote unquote plot hole that could have been said, but it was definitely not. It wasn't egregious or anything.
Well, and it's consistent.
Yes,
And
exactly.
so-
yeah.
and yeah. But I agree. I think they try to when they're in like I call it samurai world, where they're in the forest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think she says something about it, and she like because she pulls off a branch.
Yeah.
And then she makes it like
A billion different things, and then a sword.
Right. And then so I think she says something about there, but even then, yeah, it was like.
But it also didn't understand why when our main character could travel and was traveling and was in every universe simultaneously while she couldn't do the same thing.
Yeah. I think she does it once at the end. Does she turn something into a googly eye?
Maybe. Yeah. Because that was her whole goal, right? I want to be the same thing as Joy.
Yes.
So I
that's
can
the
then
only way that
save
I can,
her.
Yeah. And she did.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
At the cost of so many lives. But
what?
Didn't a bunch of people get got in this?
No. Remember?
I didn't think so.
She saves them all. That's the point.
Oh, like those guys in the hallway.
Oh,
confetti
you mean
head.
the ones before the end?
Yeah, that's before.
Well, then those two guys that get sucked into Bagelverse.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. And it looked to me like they were like each version of them was getting sucked in, which anything where it's
trippy.
like people just don't exist anymore, like that just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
So you're not for watching videos of people getting sucked into lathes?
Into lakes?
Lathes?
I don't know what that is.
Hard to explain, but it's literally the most. It pretty much just disintegrates a person.
Yeah, no, like Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan, when he like snaps them out of existence. I mean, yeah, they're they're just exploded, but stuff like that I don't like. And the Atom Project, when those guys get shot and then they like turn into just nothing.
Oh,
that kind of stuff.
So the Mandalorian, his gun, you're not a big fan of.
I haven't seen the Mandalorian.
Oh,
so
well, the Mandalorian has a gun that he just shoots and they just
disintegrate,
cease to exist.
Ugh, I hate that. Like I said, that kind of stuff just doesn't sit with me well.
Well, it's probably not supposed to.
I know that's that point. But
it does its job.
Anyway. So yeah, but overall. Yeah, I enjoyed the simultaneousness of Joy, and I thought the actress did a good job, like being this kind of all present, being.
So I already said my favorite universe was the Rock universe. Second by the one
Hot dog fingers.
No, never. I never want to see hot dog fingers again.
It'd be worse if it was salad.
What?
Salad fingers.
Do you not know what salad fingers is?
Is it a YouTube video from back in the day?
Yeah.
Then okay. The second, I like the second one where they split ways at some point in their life,
yes.
and they're at the theater together and they meet up. I really liked that whole.
It's very romantic.
Yeah, and just depressing.
Yeah.
And real, and I thought that was a cool world.
I really liked that world for the dad, because like he plays like the two main dads that we see, the goofy one in the like normal world at the beginning,
The one that talks in Chinese most of the time, and then the one that only talks in English.
yeah, and then the spy guy, whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
English, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was making sure. We really only saw those two until that scene, and that gave him like he looked like a completely different person and acted like a completely different person.
Yeah, when we see him in the tuxedo up the staircase, it took me a double take to be like, is that him? And
yeah, it's almost like
I thought that
our
was
main
very
character
cool.
sucked the life out of the dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With her depressionness.
Right. Yeah, and then yes, I agree. And I liked the dialogue kind of, we were talking about that kind of like lost romance thing. And I liked that when she tells him everything, he's like, look, I can't get hurt again. So
yeah, and when he said, that was very in my heart, when he said, I would have traded all of this to be
work
poor
at
in
crappy
a
washing,
laundromat
do taxes
with you.
and do
Do
laundry
taxes.
with you.
Yeah.
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 I think there's something to be said for that. Like the you don't have
living a rich and lavish life
versus
means very little when you don't have the loved one to spend it with.
Yeah. But so I kind of want to talk about the ending a little bit. Like
That's probably where we're about to get to. So yeah.
Are you crying? Are you okay?
No.
Your eyes
My
look-
nose itches really bad, and I can't get it to stop.
Your eyes just look really watery. I was like, oh, are you okay, little buddy?
Oh yeah, I guess we were talking about romance stuff.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if my mustache is tickling it or what, but it's itching like crazy.
So the reason I was like, okay, this movie seems very metaphorical rather than literal is I kept thinking throughout the course of this as things got crazier and crazier, I was like, what is the implications of all this? Like, what is going to happen here? Because like we're crossing universes. Evelyn is like this, like she is now this simultaneous presence, and so is Joy. Like nothing changed. They just chose not to go into the bagel, basically. And what about the bagel? The bagel still exists. They didn't destroy that. So, but then at the end of the movie, it's like everything is just fine again. We just kick back to the beginning, except now Joy is a part of it instead of not.
Yeah.
And so,
but now she has someone that's with her, basically,
right?
That's living the same existence with her, and so that makes it easier.
Sure.
Which I thought the solution to the movie is a little cheesy, and I wasn't.
Just put meaning in things,
or just be kind is the solution to. Like I think it was a little too literal because you could have just had, like, if you really think about it, if you're living an infinite amount of realities all at once, it's impossible to find meaning in anything because you have everything.
You've lived everything, yeah.
And so they didn't have to be so on the nose to be like, there's no point for anything. Life has no meaning. We need to just stop to exist. Like, they didn't have to be that literal with it.
Right.
Just have them be ultra depressed in all of their lives, like that. That's kind of what they were already building to.
Yeah,
and they did that, and then they had to have the one-on-one conversation with Joy that kind of just sprayed every meaning of the movie all at once. Which at first I was like, okay, we're literally just explaining the whole entire point for anybody that couldn't get it throughout the movie. But then I was like, this is also a really sweet moment.
Yeah.
So like it was kind of a duality of, okay, it's super metaphorical, but then we're going to tell you literally, but also that's a really good scene. So it's hard for me to judge if I wanted it there or not.
Right.
But I do think the solution is too cheesy and not well thought out enough because it's if there's an infinite amount of universes, someone's going to be nice, I guess. That's the solution.
Yeah, someone's going to be nice to you somewhere.
Yeah. And so it you would have already had that.
So, yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I feel like narratively it worked, and that's why they did it. Mm-hmm. Because it, for most audiences, that's going to be, okay, the meaning of life is finding and being with the people that you love and finding joy in those things. Right. But in the grand scheme of the movie, that doesn't really make sense.
Right.
And so if you if you do think about it as a little bit more of a high concept idea, not saying I'm a philosopher or anything, but if you do think about it, that's not a very good solution to that issue.
Yeah.
And anybody that does deal with nihilism is going to be like, fuck you, that's not an answer. So,
yeah.
Not that I've dealt with nihilism myself or anything, but I have read a lot of philosophy books about nihilism and had discussions about nihilism and stuff like that. And it's obviously, and it be kind for some people that works.
Yeah. And I mean, I think you're right. I think this for the narration's sake, in terms of I like in your review, you said nihilism versus teenage angst. This narrative in that format for this specific setting works for these two people in a movie form. But yeah, if you think about it, if you go too literal, you're like, okay, well, what about all this other stuff that is happening? Like, how does that get fixed? And if you go too not highbrow, but if you think about it too much philosophically, yes, it's like, well, this would have happened somewhere down the line because you're living everything all the time, which is still a little literal, I guess. But yeah, in this context for this movie, it works.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do think it is important to remember that they're living their lives simultaneously at the same point in time.
Right.
And I maybe that's also getting lost in my translation a little bit, like in my own head.
No, I think it's coming across.
Well, no, I mean in my head of like when I'm thinking about all this, because it's like also like apparently the mom just needed to tell her grandpa that she's gay.
He needs to deal with it.
Yeah. And so like, you know, that probably had happened in another universe at some point, but
yeah. I did we didn't really talk about the grandpa, but the wheelchair when he
wheelchair grandpa was pretty good.
Yeah. But anyway.
Just came out of nowhere and just bashes her in the back into the wall.
I had to go to the bathroom really bad during this.
You missed that?
I didn't miss it. I watched. So that fight happened, and then I was waiting for like a pause moment, I guess. And so yeah, and so they had that big fight, and then he showed up, and then I was like, well, there's nothing they could divulge, right? Because now we have to meet him, and he's just in their version of the grandpa. So I'm going to go right now. But anyway, that's all I remember.
Yeah.
So I guess I did miss, like, I actually count the seconds when I go to the bathroom. So I guess I did miss like a minute and 10 seconds. Anyway.
Anyways, I do like that whole end fight. Like, I know I said the kindness thing is a little bit of a cheesy take, but we also said narratively, it really made sense. For that last fight, narratively, it made a lot of sense. Instead of just murdering everybody, she listens to her husband, who has stayed through all of it.
Even after getting stabbed with a piece of glass.
By her.
By her, yeah.
And she listens and just like finds all of these people in different realities and figures out what their person truly needs to get out of their nihilism, basically.
Yeah.
To feel like they are wanted and needed and like loved, basically, by something, finding their happiness in something.
Right.
And everybody has something, and so she just finds that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really cool scene. I felt like it should have gone a little bit more rapid fire.
Yeah.
Because it took a while.
It moved pretty slow.
Because it's going in slow mo, and I mean it should have gone a little bit in slow mo, but like it took a long time to get through that little scene there, and they could have just done like a minute. Just boom, 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 boom. We go through 15 people, and like they each get 5 seconds. And like, I think it really would have worked because we also skipped over a lot of people. I think it just fast, rapid fire stuff would have really worked right there. And I think they just took a little bit of time. That wasn't really needed.
I keep thinking of, because like you mentioned that, what do we think of Raccoon Tooie?
It was a good bit.
Did you enjoy that, Tristan?
It was funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny
Also,
that they play on it earlier, and she keeps on saying Raccoon Tooie instead of Ratatouille.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy that is the chef guy is he's from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. He's Father Bra.
Oh,
sweet.
If you're curious.
I wasn't, but
I'm really good at picking out random people.
What movie did we watch that had some random guy from Sky High?
That was this one.
No, it was Zola.
Oh, yeah.
Zola, the boyfriend in Zola. I'm like, he's the glow-in-the-dark guy from Sky High.
Yeah, that was a movie we just watched. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and what movie did we watch on here that was the guy from Mr. Deeds?
Oh,
the Batman.
The medicine. Oh yeah.
Oh
no,
it was
he needed the medicine.
Shoot. Morbius. Yes, he was the doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doctor, not Jared Leto.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you guys got anything else?
I don't think so.
For this movie? Well,
I was thinking of another random bit that happened.
Yeah. We watched this Wednesday. You watched it Thursday?
We watched it Thursday.
I watched it Friday.
We
Mm-hmm.
did watch it Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
did a twofer yesterday and saw.
Those are the best.
Did you run into our friend Will? The guy
that watched Worst Person in the World with us?
Oh, no, I didn't.
He does the twofers.
He says he sees 3 movies in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Will, if you're listening, hope you got to watch this one.
Yeah.
It's a good
for
movie.
Sure.
Oh.
What was that?
I have no idea.
What?
Did you snap?
I'm like this.
Oh.
Okay.
We were like, what?
Moving on.
Yeah.
To what?
Well, if we don't have anything else we got to say, we can go to ratings.
Oh, cool.
Trevor, what do you rate the movie?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Yep.
Tristan?
Like 2.5.
Oh. Ouchie.
Sorry.
Oh, psst. Ow.
Okay. I don't know. Oh yeah, there we go.
Alrighty then.
I'm 4.5. I don't think that's quite up to the 5 level because of a couple of things I said, which aren't big.
Yeah.
It's
just
not ambulance, so you can't rate it a 5.
It is not ambulance.
What do you rate ambulance, Tristan?
Hey,
I can't tell you.
We might do an episode on it. We can't say it.
Dang it.
Tell
me off air.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there were a couple things that I don't think it just make it below a perfect movie, in my opinion, but still really solid, really fun movie. Thank you A24 for doing original stuff, unlike anybody else. Really excited to watch Men, even though I feel like it's gonna be like a huge toxic masculinity. Men are terrible.
I feel like I'm gonna feel real convicted after watching it.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like, hey, look, see, men are terrible, but I don't care. Still looks like a good movie. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Next week, I have no idea what we're doing. I should be prepping this, but we might have a bonus episode of Ambulance come out. If you guys are thinking about watching that, obviously Tristan's super excited to review that. It'll probably be like, I don't know, 28 minutes long. Yeah. The review, not the movie. The movie was 28 hours long.
Because it's so good, we won't have anything to say about it. That's why.
That's not what a good movie does to you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so thank you guys for listening, and we will be back next Monday. Bye, guys.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people! I've known sheep that could outwit you.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
No, none taken.